Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to talk about, is Medicaid and government assistance actually a problem? So when I was a general manager at Wendy's, I always got to give you a story time. There was a woman who had a child that was constantly sick, always needing medical assistance. In fact, the child probably needed a caregiver at home at all times. This would require a substantial amount of money, but depending on how you live and how you structure your life, you can definitely live nicely. Now, in New York or California, it's going to be completely different than Ohio. For someone like me who has been all around Columbus, Ohio, I understand that there are such financial benefits to every little pocket of the world. There's going to be a place that you can live cheaply that is also safe. There's going to be places that are safe, that are expensive. There's going to be places that are bad, all few and far in between. In my investment journey, I'll just give you an example. When I was looking at properties, my loan officer didn't tell me how much I could afford. They didn't tell me that your debt to income ratio had to be 46, 45%. They didn't tell me that I can go as high as that. They didn't tell me that I could qualify for 250, 300,000. They only told me that how much am I making right now? How much am I paying in rent? And then they tried to give me a house in that category of what I was already paying in rent. So when I was paying rent, I was paying about 900, probably 1,200 after utilities. That is the loan amount that they was giving me. They was giving me about 140,000, 150,000. And so the first property I bought was actually about $740 a month in the payments, which was even less than what I was paying in rent at the time. But that was a $140,000 house. Let's double back. I saw houses that were 100,000. It was a 1.5 bedroom. When I say 1.5 bedroom, the bedroom was so small that it had to be like a baby's room, but it was $100,000. At the low interest rates that we had, this would have only cost me about $400 a month on a 30-year mortgage. With $400 a month payment, let's say your child has to live with you in the same room because they outgrow their room. Or let's say you have to redo the basement because it was a real nice basement. I mean, the basement was so nice you could have turned it into like a movie theater, a nice room. It was literally a man cave. I love this house so much, even though the second room was so small, because of the basement, because they had this like chalkboard when you entered the house. You can tell that I remember this house so vividly. And I've seen a lot of properties. I've probably seen over 100 properties. But this is just what it takes. When you go and you visit all the properties that you can, you're going to fall in love with certain things. And at the price point is what I'm really trying to get at. It was $100,000, $400 a month if you had good credit like me. Now, not everybody has good credit. Work on your credit, get to where you need to get to. But all I'm trying to tell you is that hard work will surely pay off. Now, not to get off topic, the person who had a child that was sick was working as an assistant manager. Assistant managers probably make $16 to $18 an hour at Wendy's. Okay? At this time, I was probably making about $65,000 as a GM. She was willing to leave work at all times for her daughter. She was willing to say, you know what, I don't care about my job. I'm going to focus on my child. All of that sounds honorable and good. But here's the thing. She was also getting about $5,000 a month from the government for her child. It's not really a sacrifice to not work when you know the government is going to provide for all of your needs. And I already know that the $5,000 is not just going towards the child. Of course, it's going to go towards your own upkeep. It's going to go towards your lifestyle, your housing, all of those needs. But on top of that, I don't believe that you can qualify for housing based on your child's income, essentially. A 14, 11-year-old that's making $5,000 a month. That's more than most Americans make in 2 months. So what I'm saying is, like, when you're literally bragging about $5,000 a month in income from your child, I can see why you don't show up to work. I can see why you're clocking in late. I can see why you're not doing the things that you're doing. I can see why. It's because my tax-paying dollars, when I show up, is going towards your care. This is why I say the rich don't get taxed, because the real rich don't pay taxes. Everything gets written off in their business. The middle class, we pay all the taxes, and it goes to the people who don't want to pay the taxes and reap all the benefits and rewards. Now, does a child need supplementary income? Does the child need help? Does the child need their medical expenses paid for? Probably. Does the child also need $5,000 on top of Medicare and Medicaid? No. No. Some people might say I'm wrong for that. I can't determine what a child needs. The government knows best. Absolutely not. They don't know best. If they knew best, they wouldn't be in so much debt. If they knew best, they would not be over $1 trillion in debt right now. If they knew best. You see, people are not incentivized to work anymore. People are not incentivized to get out of their position. Even if I were to get $5,000 a month for one of my children, you know what I would do? Not only would I have purchased a house for that child and then be paying it off every single month, by the time that child is of age, 18 years old, that house would have been paid off. I would have made sure to get a house that was about $1,500 a month in payment and be paying $3,000 a month on it with the child's income. And then that $2,000 I would use on that child's needs, knowing that they were taken care of with healthcare, Medicaid, and all that other stuff. By the time that child is 18 years old, with maybe $1,000 a month going into their investment account, and then $1,000 being used for their basic needs, that child would have been a multimillionaire by 18. And that child does have a brain. The child is able to think. And so I would have constantly been teaching them money every single year, year after year. By the time they were 10, 11, 12, 13, they would have known of the money that they had. They would have known how I'm working on it for them. And then they would have known not to touch it until they're 30, because I don't want them to touch it until they're 30. And then so when the child gets a job, when the child is working, by the time they're 30 with their paid off house and everything else, we would hope that life is good for them. We would hope that all things are in its place. But that does not stop me from working. That does not mean that I'm going to call off every day. That does mean that I'm going to get a job that is suitable to my new lifestyle, which has to revolve around my child. That does mean that I'm going to have a partner that's caring, supportive, and able to work with me. That does mean that I have to be more selective in who I sleep with. That does mean that I have to be more selective in what jobs I choose. That does mean I have to be more selective in the company that I keep around my vulnerable child. But to be reliant on something is an issue. Does it make your life better in a sense? It can, but it can also make your life worse, because now you're not reliable. Now you're not honorable. You signed up for something and you're not holding up to your end of the agreement. You're not being accountable. You're not having any integrity whatsoever. As a general manager, I wasn't frustrated. I understood. I understood that most people would succumb to these type of environments. Most people would succumb to this type of lifestyle. Most people don't make this type of money, and therefore they don't ever fathom making this type of money. And so for their child to make it by being sick, in fact, you'll find some people want to keep their child sick. Why? Because it's beneficial to them. They've never seen money like that before. I'd rather have a healthy child than $10,000 a month. And that's not everybody. Some people might think that that is the most common thing to say, but it's not true. Have you seen $10,000 a month? I have. Have you? That can change people. It can. And so, is Medicaid a problem? Is government assistance a problem? That's the question that I want to ask you all today. If you like this video, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You know that I post every single day at 8 a.m. daily on YouTube and on Rumble. And I can't wait to see you on the next one. Peace.